Hi guys, Joanna here. Today I will be talking about 7 new perfume releases that I think you'll be interested about. I received these perfumes in PR mostly from Esxence and some from RAFINAD, so in case you'll be interested in any of them, I will link details in the description down below. I know a lot of you are asking me about perfumes I discovered in Esxence, and you know that I didn't forget about you. It's just that I'm gonna prioritize the perfumes that are already available now or will be available this month, because I have received perfumes as well that are either out already for quite some time and some will be only available in fall time, for example. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into it. I'm gonna start off with the newest release of Bon Parfumeur, and this is called Myrrh Shadow. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've attended their shadow party in Milan and it was amazing. I had a great time. Anyway, let's talk about Myrrh Shadow. This is a creation of Kentin Bish, by the way. So, we know already the standard, right? And what can I say? I love this fragrance. This is a spicy, ambery, woody fragrance that I think is very, very sexy. I find the opening of this fragrance quite fresh and a little bit spicy because of the grapefruit and basil. It is also peppery. However, as it dries down, it becomes more ambery and resinous. The main note of this fragrance, as you know, is Myrrh. So expect it to be very heavy in that. So, having said that, it has a dark, ambery, and resinous character. I'll say the more it dries down, the more it gets powdery as well. So imagine like an ambery, resinous, powdery scent that I think is something that I would love to smell like and I would love a man to smell like. So having said that, this is a unisex fragrance and this is such a hit for me. I will say one of the best that I have discovered in Esxence this year. What can I say? Canteen Bish didn't disappoint. There is something quite vintagey about it as well. However, don't get me wrong, it doesn't smell mature. To me, this actually smells like vintage, but in a modern way. I mentioned vintage yet modern because it has that very pronounced myrrh and benzoin combo. However, it is woody and fresh as well because of the akigala wood and basil. This has a very particular note combo that Cantin uses a lot in his fragrances. I'll say basil, pepper, and Aki Galawood. So if you know that DNA that is quite present in Bois Imperial as well by Essential Parfums, created by Kenton Bish, it is somehow reflected in this fragrance. However, they are not similar at all, okay? I am just picking up like that DNA with an added myrrh. So, this is peppery, spicy, woody, and resinous scent that is very, very sexy to me. I think the color of the bottle definitely resembles the kind of vibe of this fragrance. It's quite dark, yet very likable unisex scent. And when it comes to longevity and projection, guys, I'll say this lasts more than 8 hours. I used this several times already, and I'll say the first 3 hours has a very strong projection until it becomes moderate when it comes to projection. But guys, it stays the entire day. Such a beautiful release. I highly, highly recommend Myrrh Shadow 403 by Bon Parfumeur, and I find this fragrance unisex. All right, next two fragrances are from Neydo, and even though I discovered them in Esxence, these are sent to me in PR prior to the Esxence exhibitions. Anyway, I'm gonna start with Alien Fruit. The nose behind this fragrance is Bertrand Duchefort. So, I have a high expectation from this fragrance. And Yeah, what can I say? I am not a fruity girl, okay? And if you watch my channel, you know that already. However, there is something very likable and fun about this fragrance, so I like it. This has a very prominent yuzu, guava, and pomegranate. I'm talking about juicy and fresh fruits, okay? Having said that, this is really bright and juicy. The pomegranate in here seems like just newly cut, along with the guava. I will say the yuzu, guava, and pomegranate are the standout notes to my nose, even though it has also cyclamen musk. I don't find it to be that prominent in here. This to me is mainly fruity with an ambery background. I find this fragrance actually quite unique for a fruity scent. That's why I'm really liking it. I haven't like really smelled anything like it. There's something about it that smells like young and fun. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna describe it. It's a young and fun, fruity, ambery scent that will be perfect this spring and summertime. There's something about it that just makes me feel good when I wear it. It's like I'm having some red fruits, pomegranate and guava by the beach. That is the vibe of this fragrance. I find it very unisex. Highly recommend it if you're looking for quite a unique fruity scent to use this spring and summertime. Once again, that is Alien Fruit by Neydo. Next fragrance from Neydo is called Breathe Out, and it comes in this beautiful sky blue bottle. Now, this fragrance is inspired by nature and the Alps. There's something very fresh, calming, and peaceful about it. But in the end, guys, this to me is a woody scent. Let's say mainly sandalwood. I'm gonna describe this fragrance more of like a salty marine and woody scent, mainly sandalwood in my opinion. I love the contrast of the salt and marine notes in here, as it gave this fragrance such a relaxed kind of vibe. This is giving me cabin vibe by the Alps. However, there is some saltiness as well. So imagine a frosty mountain and lake or river while having a warm, spicy drink. And you are having that spicy, warm drink in a log cabin. Absolutely beautiful. I will say, I don't know, I feel like I like this more than alien fruit because there's something about it that is very comforting. And I think this is a kind of fragrance that you can wear all year round. Very inoffensive. But this is a kind of fragrance that will be perfect to use during those cloudy and foggy days. I really like this fragrance, and I think the color of the bottle definitely resembles the vibe of the juice inside. So yeah, I highly recommend it. I find it unisex. When it comes to projection, I will say that this is very moderate. Let's say lasted me around 4 to 5 hours with a moderate to soft projection. While Alien Fruit though has a very good projection. Yeah, I just have to quickly mention that because I think I forgot to mention the performance of Alien Fruit. I find this one having like good projection, and it lasted me for 6 to 7 hours. Yeah. However, I think when it comes to wearability, I recommend Breathe Out more. This is a beautiful, salty, marine, and woody scent that I think is perfect to use every day. Yeah. Once again, Breathe Out by Neydo. Next up is one of the newest releases of Sarah Baker, and this is Rococo Pie. I think this used to only come in a trio set. However, now they are selling it in 50 ml bottle, which is good news. It has that addictive peach and coconut combo, plus that, I don't know, I think vanilla ice cream kind of creaminess. I love this scent. This is gourmand. Okay, this smells like a peach and coconut pie with a side of vanilla ice cream. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna describe it. Yes, it is gourmand and it is addictive. Actually, I have a thing for addictive kind of gourmands. This has a very prominent peach and coconut. Okay, so if you are not a fan of creamy coconut kind of scents, you won't like this. However, if you're like me and you enjoy creamy coconut, you will definitely love this fragrance. Definitely addictive, guys. Oh, I can smell this whole day and I will be happy. The kind of peach in here is like the same kind of peach used in Peach's Revenge. However, guys, with Rococo Pie, the peach is combined with a creamy coconut. Definitely addictive. And yeah, I'm so happy to add this in my collection. When it comes to longevity and projection, I will say this lasts around 6 to 8 hours with moderate projection. Really love the scent. And I just want to quickly give you a quick review of the other fragrance that is new as well from Sarah Baker. And this is Pastel Rumors. I only have sample size. And guys, this fragrance though is very much like Fruit Loops with fresh peaches and milk. Yeah, that's how it smells like. I find it very, very similar to the original Peaches Revenge. However, this one just doesn't have the amaretto, so it doesn't have the boozy factor of Peaches Revenge. This is mainly like a fruity and milky version. So yeah, I just want to quickly mention that in case you're interested. It is a very nice scent as well, however, very close to Peach's Revenge. And also, I have here their newest release called Prism Head. And let me just give you my quick thought about it. This is for someone who's really into extremely unique scent. This smells like damp wood and earthy soil. Yeah, that's how it smells like. And as it dries down, it becomes greener and greener. So very green and very earthy. I'll say like this is a unique scent, masculine leaning, too earthy for my liking. But if you love unique, earthy, and green scents, you're gonna love this. Next up are fragrances that I got from Raffinad Perfumery. And the first one that I'm gonna talk about is called Histoire d'Amour 2.0 from Jules Etmad. Guys, this is a fruity, floral, ambery scent that I think you'll be interested about. I'm getting here mango, strawberry, raspberry, saffron, oud, and amber. So imagine like a fruity, ambery, and oudy scent. I find this fragrance quite special because this is actually mainly a mango scent to me. However, the kind of mango that is in here is like an Indian mango. So, something that is greenish yellow, not too sweet and not too juicy. If you've tried an Indian mango, you know what I'm talking about. Um, it has that sourness. However, the sourness of the mango is contrasted by the juicy factor of raspberry and strawberry in here. The tolu balsam and frankincense note in here gave this fragrance a bit of a spice that I find very unique actually, because the opening of this is extremely fruity. However, as it dries down, the spicy and resinous factor coming from the frankincense, amber, and tolu balsam kicks in. And I don't know, it just turned into a different direction. It's not your typical fruity scent. Plus the fact that it also has recognizable oud in the base. Very interesting fragrance. I'm going to classify this fragrance as a fruity, spicy and woody scent. Very interesting, and I feel like I've never smelled anything like this. I'm very impressed how this perfume turned into a different direction because, as mentioned, the opening is very fruity. However, the dry down is just different. There's really a big contrast given by the frankincense, tolo balsam, oud, and amber in here, along with the mango and berries. A beautiful, fruity, unique scent that I think will be perfect for spring and summertime. Something about the texture of this fragrance that makes it quite unique to me. It is quite cold. Happy to add this in my collection. This one is alike. I find this fragrance unisex. And when it comes to longevity and projection, guys, this performs very well. Let's say more than 8 hours. My sweater still smells like this, even though I've used that sweater like 2 or 3 days ago. Our room smells like Histoire de Amour 2.0. Yeah, I find this fragrance very potent, especially if you spray on clothes. Yeah, highly recommend it if you're looking for a unique, cold, fruity, woody, ambery scent to use this spring and summertime. Next fragrance is something that surprised me a lot. Okay, I've tried this scent when I was in Esxence. However, I think I just tried so many fragrances. So when I was there, I really didn't give that much attention to it. However, I received this from Rafinad, and guys, I am quite impressed. This is called Chromodoro, by the way. Oh my god, I didn't even mention the name. Chromodoro by Astrophil and Stella. And this is their newest release. This has tomato leaf, basil, blackcurrant, angelica root, wormwood, juniper berries, gin, rum, jasmine, sandalwood, musk, and vetiver. Okay, so having said that, we heard a lot of woods. So this is mainly a woody scent. And you know that I am a sucker for woody fragrances. And guys, this is beautiful. It is a green, spicy, woody scent that I think a lot of you will love if you are like me, who's into woody scents. In the opening, the basil and tomato leaf kind of gave this fragrance some unique kind of greenness. So, quite herbally, I will say. However, as it dries down, the freshness of gin and juniper berries kind of like peek through, along with the woodiness factor of sandalwood and vetiver. A very beautiful fragrance, guys. I love this scent. This is a big love. This is something that you can use on a daily basis and will be a perfect cool girl signature scent, in my opinion. To be honest, the DNA doesn't seem very unique, definitely giving the sandalwood vibes of Tamdao. However, there's something very bright and cooling in here. I think it's the gin note together with juniper berries. This is giving me same vibes of like gypsy water with Tamdao by Diptyque, so if you love those two fragrances, I think you're gonna love this fragrance. It is not duping it, okay? I'm just saying that they pretty much have the same vibe. I'll say I love this fragrance. If I have to rate this is close to 10, okay? I will say 9 out of 10 because this is like my kind of scent profile. Bright and fresh, woody scent. Yes, sign me up. Once again, that is Chromodoro by Astrophil and Stella, and I find this fragrance unisex. Oh, and when it comes to longevity and projection, I will say this one is moderate. Lasted me around 4 to 6 hours with moderate projection. Last but not the least is one of my favorites from Esxence, and I don't have a bottle yet. And this is the newest release of Maison Mataha. It will only be out on March 26th. I think I'm gonna get a full bottle of this because I really love this fragrance. This is called Printemps Blanc. If I pronounce it wrong, I'm sorry, okay? Anyway, let's talk about the scent. Guys, this is such a beautiful, sweet, floral tea scent that I'm sure a lot of you will love. Yes, I will say this is very mass appealing, however, not boring, okay? This has a very prominent orange blossom and jasmine. However, it has a tea note as well that gave this fragrance like a soft and tender feel to it. There's something creamy and sweet about it as well that I find very pretty and addictive. If I have to categorize this fragrance, I'm gonna say that this is a sweet, floral, yeah, tea scent. Yeah, I think I mentioned that already in the beginning. I think this is the only fragrance from the brand that is not really leaning gourmand, okay? Because as far as I know, Maison Mataha mainly does gourmand when it comes to their fragrances, and I don't find this gourmand, even though it is sweet. This is a kind of signature scent that I imagine someone who's giving clean girl slash model look vibes. Yeah, that's how pretty and beautiful this fragrance is. Absolutely love it. To be honest, I don't find it like an extremely unique scent. However, it just smells so good and beautiful that I am really considering buying a full bottle. When it comes to longevity and projection, guys, this one lasts more than 8 hours. I am actually almost out of my sample. This to me has the perfect amount of florals in a fragrance, you know? If you watch my channel, you know that I'm not really floral kind of girl. I'll say how the florals are done in here. Perfect. It has that addictive vanilla and sandalwood combo in the base that I think grounded everything all together and gave this fragrance that perfect rating. Yeah, I really love the scent. Highly recommend this, guys, if you are like me, who's not into florals. However, you are attracted to something girly yet creamy and woody. Absolutely beautiful scent. Once again, Printemps Blanc lasts for a very long time because this is an extrait de parfum as well. And yeah, I find this feminine leaning. This to me is a 10 out of 10, by the way. So that is the video for today, guys. Those are some of the new releases that I think you might be interested about. Let me know if you've tried any of them. I would like to hear your thoughts about them. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching and see you on my next one. Bye, guys.